Welcome back to Reading with Miss Michelle. Today we're going to read Disney Pixar Monsters University. If you have a copy, go get it so you can read along with me. Don't forget to help us out by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video with all of your friends. When Mike Wazowski was 6 years old, he went on a field trip to Monsters, Inc. He sneaked inside a child's bedroom and saw a scarer at work. That one amazing moment made Mike realize he wanted to be a scarer himself when he grew up. The years passed, and finally Mike was old enough to attend the School of Scaring at Monsters University. Mike arrived on campus filled with excitement. His childhood dream was about to start coming true. "I can't believe it. I'm officially a college student," Mike said. One of Mike's classmates was a huge monster named Sully. He belonged to the Roar Omega Roar fraternity. Sully and the RORs made fun of Mike. They thought he was too small and funny looking to be a scarer. Mike was determined to study hard and ace his final exam. Meanwhile, all Sully did was goof off. He thought that being big and having a loud roar were enough to make him the best scarer. On the day of the final exam, Mike and Sully got into a roaring face-off. They accidentally broke Dean Hardscrabble's prize scream can, but Hardscrabble acted as though she did not mind. She allowed them to perform their exams, but quickly cut them off. She told them that neither of them would be staying in the scaring program. Winning the annual Scare Games was Mike and Sully's only way of getting back into the scaring program. To compete in the games, they had to join a fraternity. They joined the least scary group on campus, Uzma Kappa. The members of OK were Don, Squishy, Art, Terry, and Terry. Mike wasn't happy about working with Sully, but he had no choice. The first event of the Scare Games was the Toxicity Challenge. The teams had to go from one end of the sewer tunnel to the other while avoiding stinging glow urchins. The second the race started, Mike and Sully took off and left the rest of the OKs behind. The entire team ended up coming in last. Umza Kappa was out. But unexpectedly, one of the winning teams was disqualified for cheating. The OKs were back in. The next day, the OKs showed Mike some of their talents, but Mike already had a plan. "From now on, we are of one mind. My mind," he said. Sully rolled his eyes. "You tell them what to do, but not me. So long, coach," he muttered. The second event, Avoid the Parent, took place in the library. The teams had to capture their flag without getting caught by the librarian. Even though Sully was no help to the team at all, the OKs managed to take fourth place. Squishy had grabbed the flag and made it out of the library without anyone noticing. Just as the OKs were starting to feel confident, the RORs made fun of them. They told the OKs they'd never be real scarers. Mike decided to take everyone to Monsters, Inc. They sneaked up onto the roof and looked down onto a scare floor. They saw that scarers came in all shapes and sizes. Everyone was inspired. Mike and Sully both admitted that they had been behaving badly. They agreed they needed to start working together. The following morning, Mike and Sully bounded out of bed. They couldn't wait to begin training for the next Scare Games event. They packed up their gear, met with the other OKs, and headed off to campus. Mike worked on getting the team in tip-top shape. He taught them how to sneak into a bedroom, how to drop to the floor, and how to dodge teenagers. In between drills, Mike got them to run in place and practice their scary feet. The Uzma Kappa's training paid off. They passed the Don't Scare the Teen event and moved to the next round. Mike helped them practice for the hide and sneak event. The OKs were so well prepared, they came in second. They were heading to the finals. Later, Sully ran into Dean Hardscrabble. Tomorrow, each of you must prove that you are undeniably scary, and I know for a fact that one of you is not, she said. Sully knew that she meant Mike. He didn't want to believe her, but he couldn't help but wonder if she was right. The RORs and the OKs were going head-to-head in the final Scare Games event. Each competitor had to perform a scare in a simulator. Mike was the last member of the OKs to perform his scare. He entered the room, sneaked up to the bed, leaped up, and roared. The robot child bolted upright and screamed. Mike's scare had given the OKs the highest score. They had won the Scare Games. Dawn, Squishy, Art, Terry, and Sully all surrounded Mike and lifted him up on their shoulders. The entire stadium burst into cheers and applause. "We're in the scaring program," Sully cried. But the moment didn't last long. Mike soon discovered that Sully had rigged the controls on the simulator. Mike's difficulty level had been switched to easy. He couldn't believe it. "Well, what was I supposed to do?" Sully blurted out. "Let the whole team fail because you don't have it?" Mike was angry. He stormed off and stole a key to the door tech lab where students learned how to build doors to the human world. He put a scream can in place, powered up a door, and opened it. Alarms went off all over campus, sending Hardscrabble and her security guards racing to the lab. Mike found himself in the closet of a child's room. He crept out towards the sleeping child and roared. The youngster sat up and smiled. "You look funny," she said. Mike couldn't believe it. Suddenly, he realized he wasn't in a child's bedroom. He turned to look and saw that he was in a cabin full of kids. Meanwhile, Sully rushed to the lab. He slipped past security, ran through the door, and went off to rescue Mike. He found him beside a lake in the campgrounds. "I thought I could show everybody that Mike Wazowski is something special, and I'm just not," said Mike. Sully told Mike he wasn't much different. He had messed things up his entire life. "I'll never know how you feel, but you're not the only failure here," he said. Mike and Sully returned to the cabin, but the door back to Monsters University had been powered down. They were trapped. A group of adults was now quickly approaching. "If we really scare them, we could generate enough scream to power the door from this side," said Mike. As the adults entered the cabin, Mike and Sully set up their big scare. Then, on Mike's cue, Sully loomed over the adults and roared. The adults screamed and ran for their lives. Back in the door tech lab, the door's scream can filled to the brim. Hardscrabble watched in disbelief as the door exploded and Mike and Sully blasted into the room. They had performed an epic scare, but they still got expelled for breaking the university's rules. Mike and Sully wondered about their plans for the future. Then Mike had an idea. "There's still one way we could work at a scare floor," he said. They both got jobs in the Monsters, Inc. mailroom. Mike knew that if they worked hard enough, anything was possible. This was just the beginning for the team of Wazowski and Sullivan. The end. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed listening to this book, and I hope you were able to read along with me. Don't forget to help us out by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video with all of your friends. I hope you join me next time. Bye!